Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the University of Lynchburg campus. We are right here in front of Schellenberger Field. My name is Ethan Ronsky. My partner in crime right here is Kyle Haney, absolute best buddy of mine here in the broadcast booth. We are here in Schellenberger Field to give you an amazing matchup between the University of Lynchburg Hornets and the Bridgewater College Eagles. Not only is this an amazing matchup that we're going to get for a regular season, but this is the first ODAC matchup for both of these teams. They're both coming off of a win. Kyle, what do we think we're looking at here for both these teams?
Well, the calendar has turned to October, Ethan. That means the first phase of the season is done. These coaches are starting to learn more about their squads, and as you just pointed out, both teams coming off victories. Both teams have got 5 wins on the season. So it's a strong start for both squads. And now, again, as you've learned more about your team, you really start thinking about conference play. Obviously, this is the Old Dominion Athletic Conference opener for these squads. And, really it's not that far away from playoff time as well. Lynchburg wants to make another long playoff run. Bridgewater would like to have a longer playoff run. The Eagles were actually eliminated in the ODAC semifinal last year against Lynchburg. So a lot of storylines, a lot of things to talk about, and a lot of fun to have, Ethan.
Yeah, obviously going back to the fact that this isn't just another regular season game for both these teams. It's the first ODAC matchup. You always want to make an impression, especially for Bridgewater going up against the number 14 team in the nation. This is a must-win game for both of these teams. And, it's not easy to come in here in Schellenberger Field and win. Usually we have fans right out there on the track. Not too many, maybe classes going on, practices for other sports, or, anything else. A lot of people could be watching. But what do you think Bridgewater's focusing on today coming into a huge game? It's a tough field to win at again, and against a massive team like Lynchburg, ODAC champions last year, number 14 team in the nation. What do you think they're talking about during their pregame huddles?
Yeah, all great questions. Bridgewater's lost 10 in a row to Lynchburg, and I believe it's 29 out of the last 30. Now, for Bridgewater, that doesn't matter. Things that happened 20 years ago don't matter to this team. I think they're coming in with the thought, hey, if we play our best hockey, if we play our game, then we've got a chance. It doesn't mean we're guaranteed success. They know that. But I think if you try to go too outside your norm, Ethan, and play so good or play this great mythical game that you've imagined, then that just becomes an impossible bar. You play hard, you play your game. Hopefully when you get to the fourth quarter, you find yourself in a close game. I think if you're Bridgewater, you should have the expectation that it'll be a close game against Lynchburg, and I think the Hornets probably have that same expectation as well.
Yeah, I feel like you said, a lot of it for Bridgewater could be trust the process of the coach. Don't play too hard. You don't want to try too hard and score too many goals, because that leads to errors and that leads to goals for other teams. And going to Lynchburg, obviously we have a new head coach. We have a new head coach, especially she's been assistant coach for 10 years, Jenny Relaford. It's definitely going to be different for them. How do we think the system's going to change, or even if it is going to change for the Lynchburg team right here?
Well, just talking to Jenny Relaford earlier this week, she said it is some changes. A lot of things are status quo. A lot of things are as you would expect, but there have been some changes, and not only the coaching change. Think about what this Lynchburg team lost last year. They lost 3 out of their top 5 point scorers: Marlou Vendricks, Aaron Boatwright, Renee Funtiel. They lost the goalie, Kayla Brady. So it's not just a new head coach. It's a lot of new faces out there in the kilts for Lynchburg this year. So they're trying to find themselves. And Coach Relaford said, hey, it's a team that has high hopes. They have high expectations. She wants them to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. She thought her team was putting too much pressure on themselves early in the season, trying to get them just to kind of relax and have fun now.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And going back to not just Bridgewater, but the whole ODAC, do you think having Coach Enza Steele no longer coaching in the ODAC, coaching a big powerhouse like Lynchburg, do you think it's going to be a challenge to change how they play teams like Lynchburg, or do you think it's going to be a breath of fresh air for them?
It could be both. Great point there by you. I think for some teams they may look at it as an opportunity. Is there a little weakness there with the coaching change? You could argue that there is not, and the beat just goes on for Lynchburg. But I think some of the other opponents may have that thought, Ethan. And you and I both know as athletes, sometimes you'll take confidence from anything you can, whether it's legitimate or not. You'll try to steal some confidence somewhere. So that could be at play for all of Lynchburg's opponents. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Lynchburg starting off the season pretty hot, 5-2. Again, they have a win coming into this game. It's going to be very important that they come off of this game with starting a win streak of 2 games. As we move into some of the players, obviously our player to watch, um, Maddie Schuchter, correct?
Maddie Schuchter, yeah,
Yeah.
for Lynchburg, the fantastic freshman from Exeter, England. She's been a real delight early season and now healthy again. She actually did not play this weekend in the win against Susquehanna and the loss to York for Lynchburg. So Maddie Schuchter, Coach Relaford says she's 100%. She's ready to get back out here on the turf at Shelley.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's interesting, and we'll talk about this later too. But it's interesting from Exeter, England. I mean, that's where half of my family's from.
Right.
So it's always really interesting to see where our players come from, and not even just Lynchburg, but even Bridgewater. And we'll talk about it later. We have a ton of foreign people from countries all around the world. We got people from out of state. Moving on to Bridgewater, we've got Daffy Demude. I hope I'm saying that right. A senior midfielder from Bayleton, Virginia, leading the team with 6 goals. Definitely going to be interesting to see what she can do here. And we are going to be cut off short, and the national anthem is going to be played. So you are watching the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, an amazing ODAC matchup coming right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Schellenberger Field. We are so excited to be up here and watch this amazing ODAC opener for both of these teams, University of Lynchburg Hornets versus the Bridgewater College Eagles. And, when we were watching the national anthem or listening to it, we noticed that there's only one goalie in uniform.
Yeah, for Lynchburg, just the one goalkeeper in the pads today. That'll be Samira Garavi. She's a junior. You mentioned the geography. A junior from Germany is Samira Garavi. So Shai Schoon's not in uniform, at least not in the pads right now that we see. That could change. Garavi's only played about 25 minutes this season, so that will be a key to watch how she does against this talented Bridgewater College offense. Bridgewater on their side has rotated 2 goalies pretty evenly this season. The goalies Madeline Miller and Ashley Naw are going to be 2 to watch. Bridgewater goalie will be in the bright neon yellow top with the black pads, and Lynchburg's netminder in the cage will wear the powder blue. Lynchburg is in the road black top with the black kilt, black socks. Bridgewater going with the all white on the road here at Schellenberger.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm very excited to call this game with you. I'm usually right behind you when we're in the box here in Schellenberger Field. I've called a couple games with you.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be a lot of fun and a new sport for me, too. This is definitely my first time announcing a game like field hockey, so I'm definitely excited.
You're going to love it. It's a fantastic sport. A couple keys for Lynchburg will be the penalty corners. Coach Relaford said we need to get better in that phase of the game. Lynchburg's gotten a lot of them. They get over 10 penalty corners per game, but haven't been converting at a rate that's very good, under 10%. Coach Relaford didn't put a number on it, but I think ideally you get that up around 20, 25% sooner rather than later.
Yeah, do you think that could be due to a new coaching system? I mean, obviously, I assume that she's running the same kind of program or team as Coach Enza's steal was, but do you think that could be due to maybe some things changing around and other players having to adapt to it?
I think the personnel changes more than the coaching change there, Ethan. I mean, a reminder, Lynchburg lost their top three of their top 5 goal scorers. So I think that's a big part of it as well, just figuring out who's going to get the ball in the cage on those penalty corners. And Coach Relaford said we may have to change our tactics there. We may change the personnel. Good takeaway in the midfield right here for Lynchburg. They're going to try to fast break it. Bridgewater got it right back.
Yeah, ball goes out of play there. We're going to see a Lynchburg ball here. It's definitely going to be interesting to see. I mean, the 4 years that I've been here at Lynchburg, it's been only success for the field hockey team, and I'm hoping obviously it's going to be success this year. A new coach, obviously some new players like you get every year. Some players having to step up, some players maybe not stepping up as much, and that doesn't have to be just because of the way that they are. That could just be other players stepping up more and producing more at the moment.
Yeah, early in the season, too, you're still trying to figure out what's the character of your team, who is going to step up, as you said. You've got some proven commodities out there, but definitely some new faces.
Going to be a Bridgewater ball here. They're going to try and play it quickly, and it's going to be quickly intercepted by Lynchburg.
Yeah, I think Avery Watkins on the takeaway there. That was really good. Got the stick nice and low, flat along the ground. That flat stick tackle. Watch out here, Ethan.
Yeah, going to play a long ball. Looks like goalie's going to kick it out, and it's going to go right back to Lynchburg. Number 2, Danielle Kuhn. She's going to try and dribble it around Bridgewater, maybe make a shot here, passing it closer to the net. Looking for an open option, and the whistle will be blown. And it looks like we're going to get a Lynchburg penalty corner.
Should be. That was Olivia Van Meter there that did a lot of the hard work inside. Van Meter, number 25, really made herself available nicely for the long outlet. Yeah, so here's the penalty corner. The 3 that were in the middle, that's referred to as the castle in field hockey. And the injector on the baseline there on the goal line will probably send it into the castle, and then you got options off of that. So here we go. Did not go to the castle, actually.
Shot on, going to be deflected, and it will be a Bridgewater College ball, maybe? I'm not too sure.
Well, and that's going to happen sometimes. It's going to be a Lynchburg ball
Lynchburg.
Back out here, 25-yard line. They'll reset. Allie Freeman, the sophomore. Good spin there to get some space.
Yeah, number 2, Daniel Kuhn on the ball now. Going to try and look for an outlet to pass, maybe in the middle or back behind her. Try and make a play here and get a goal to open up ODAC play for everybody here. Going to be intercepted by Bridgewater. They're going to run through the middle, possibly to the left. Yep, they're going to go towards the far line on the field, and it's going to go out of play and become Lynchburg's ball.
So good sequence there for Lynchburg. They got some circle touches, got some circle penetration. You see the penalty corner, though. The problem, again, for Lynchburg there. They're 0 for 1 right now on the penalty corners. We'll try to keep track of that.
Yeah, maybe it looks like it could be a little hesitation. I'm not too sure. We're going to see the ball go in front of the net. Bridgewater going to take it away. And it could honestly just be maybe there is some hesitation trying to find the perfect pass when instead they could possibly just, throw it in there and see who steps up.
Yeah, you've got your set plays on those penalty corners. Then you've got your extensions and your variations. But you're right, it's not so simple, and the defense is obviously going to have you scouted. And Lynchburg would probably draw a little bit more attention. Watch out, right to the doorstep here.
We're going to see a goal for Lynchburg. I believe number 14, Jill Plyder. That is going to be her 5th goal on the season, as she actually takes the goal lead now for Lynchburg. And that is a fantastic start for Lynchburg in not just this game, but ODAC play. A quick goal, 4 minutes in, and that is exactly what you want to see from Lynchburg if you are watching for the Hornets.
5th goal of the season for Pleiter, the freshman from Amsterdam. And there's another look at it. Fantastic replay, fantastic finish. Got the goalie stretched out and then went around. Pleiter has now scored in back-to-back games. She got one in the cage on Sunday's win against Susquehanna.
Yeah, we got a fantastic crew here, and we do have a Code Red game later, but, I mean, even just without the Code Red games, if it's just a normal game, we got a fantastic crew here. Great camera people, great director behind me, Josh Smith. Great people on replays. It's a really fantastic crew here we have at LHSN.
The team is so strong and well-rounded, much like this Lynchburg field hockey team. Playing with the 1-0 lead, that's got to make you feel good. If you're Coach Relaford, still work to be done. And Bridgewater's looked lively. We'll see how Bridgewater gets the press here, a little high press, trying to trap Lynchburg in the defensive zone, and the Hornets can get out of it.
Yeah, I think one of the best things is Lynchburg pass to the middle. It's going to be blocked by the goalkeeper, kicked out. Lynchburg recovers possession. Big shot on goal, deflected by Bridgewater. And we're going to get another penalty corner for Lynchburg.
Couple good saves by the Bridgewater netminder, number 33, Madeline Miller. She's been under some pressure, and you saw Lynchburg with the offensive players way out in front. No offside in field hockey like there is in soccer, Ethan. Actually used to have offsides in field hockey, but that was even before my time. That was way back. But that's something that teams will do, and you saw it there from Lynchburg, just trying to beat the defense back down. And it nearly worked out if it wasn't for some outstanding keeper work from Miller.
Yeah, definitely a great counterplay for Lynchburg. Just like you said, it was a fantastic save by the Bridgewater defense and the goalie. As Kanye and Dizzy takes a big swing and misses, and that's going to result in a Bridgewater ball. As they're going to try and get a counter of their own.
Yeah, big swing there from Mazizi. It's rare for her to swing and whiff like that. Her stick skills are so good. Put the hands together and gave it the big hack. Now Lynchburg going to try to run again. On the move there, Maddie Schuchter.
Yeah, Mzizi definitely one of the star players on this team from the get-go when she got here. I mean, she's a Zimbabwe national team player, and I found that out last year, and that's incredible to hear.
It is, and she's so much fun to watch. She's one of those players, kind of a typical midfielder, again, a little bit like soccer sometimes, Ethan, where you don't really appreciate her full abilities because she does a lot of the one-touch, two-touch, so it doesn't wow you sometimes. She doesn't keep the ball on her stick very long, but she's just so skillful. The field hockey IQ is through the roof for Mazizi as well, and she's a second-team All-American for a reason, as a freshman.
It looks like we're going to get a Bridgewater penalty corner here. They actually that looked like a really good job dribbling into the semicircle. Some passes that maybe could have happened, but all in all, it results in a penalty corner for Bridgewater and a scoring opportunity to level it at 1-1 possibly.
Yeah, and probably the Eagles' best chance of the game so far, you'd have to say, with 8:43 left to play in the first period. You see Lynchburg's DPC, that's the defensive penalty corner unit, as they get 4 in the cage there along with the keeper, and they'll come running out. Let's see where Bridgewater goes. They do go to the castle.
Yeah, pass right in the middle of shot. Not really the best shot, but it finds a way and almost goes into the net. It looked like that original shot took a deflection that kind of threw everybody behind the defender on just a loop, and luckily it went towards our right side of the cage, and it is still a 1-0 ball game with 8 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first quarter.
I think you're right. The shot wasn't clean, and it got slightly airborne. It did throw off everybody. Lynchburg probably fortunate. Even Molly Best was set up at the post there. She almost had a little crumb come in her direction that she wasn't able to finish off. I bet she probably wants that one back.
Yeah, that was a perfect deflection right to her. Like you said, Lynchburg really lucky that one ended up going their way. As Bridgewater gets a nice takeaway right here. And a long pass down the side. It does not look like number 14, Olivia Dewan, is going to get there, and it is going to be a Lynchburg ball down near the right corner of the field.
Yeah, and Bridgewater is going to try to keep Lynchburg sort of sequestered in that corner right there, in that corner rather. You got a foot on that, and I think that's going to be a Lynchburg ball. It is.
Yeah, a lot of interesting rules here since I've started watching field hockey. My mom used to play it, and she tells me the rules.
Yeah.
And I try and understand it as best as I can. I kind of nod my head and go along with it. It doesn't go in one ear and out the other, but it's really challenging. There are a lot more rules than you really think of.
You're right. There are, and when you watch those games at the high level, like the Olympics this year, you don't get as many of those advancing calls where it hits somebody's body, hits somebody's foot. But that's like, comparing the NBA to Division III basketball. It's just so different. So you have to learn some rules and some tactics and techniques and all that fun stuff. But that's part of the fun. Is Schuchter, the English gal, is going to go for another jaunt through the Bridgewater defense.
Yeah, like you said, it's a lot of fun, not only watching the sport, but learning it. I mean, it's definitely something new for me to do. Obviously, I'm not playing anymore, so new sports are definitely on my mind and trying to be the best broadcaster I can. As Bridgewater's going to try and make a long pass. Lynchburg is running it down. Number 14, Olivia DeWan chasing, but Olivia Muir going to be on the end of that one and dribble past her, and whistle will be blown, and it will still be Lynchburg ball. Riley Weinford are going to take this one for Lynchburg and start play back up.
Give Olivia Muir a lot of credit for winning that foot race. That could have been bad news for Lynchburg there, but really got on her bike and hustled down. Lynchburg's going to try to get over this far sideline. We haven't seen Lynchburg try to really cross the field and go sideline to sideline much yet, Evan. It's been more straight ahead. Ethan, sorry.
No, that's all right. Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of long passes that Lynchburg's trying to capitalize on.
Well, passing's so interesting, not to get on a long tangent, because, the longer passes are going to stretch the defense more. The ball's always going to move faster than the feet, but a longer pass is easier to intercept, and it's more time for the defense to take it away. So that's kind of the rub, and I think those best teams have that balance between the long, short, and some intermediate passing as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's also knowing the other team that you're going up against. The long pass is definitely better if you know your attackers are faster than the defenders. So long passes definitely have their advantages, but short passes, when you have players like Kanye Mzizi, is definitely better for the midfield because she'll dribble around anybody. Lynchburg got a chance here, dribbling in towards the middle, and it's going to be shot and saved. A lot of commotion going in front of the net. And the result will be a Bridgewater ball. That was a lot of commotion going on there.
Madeline Miller, again, in net for Bridgewater, deserves high praise. Outstanding save. It's basically a 2-on-1. She got the full stretch on the ground, and she might get pressed into service again here. Nope, Lynchburg lost that one. Sar Prins just kind of overran the ball, and then here's one out of play off Weinfordner's stick. They've had 4 or 5 on the sideline waiting to get in. Now the changes will happen for Lynchburg.
Yeah, and that's something that's really awesome for Lynchburg is there's a lot of depth, and that's obviously something that every team wants. But, as we talk about the recruiting that Enza Steele's done here, and not just from the Virginia area, but, everywhere, out of the country, out of state. There are, I believe, 7 players that we have out of the country this year, and there were even more last year. Do you think, with a new coach, do you think that obviously it affects recruiting, but how much do you think it affects?
I think, if anything, Jenny Relaford's going to get more internationals because, remember, Coach Relaford was born and raised in Scotland, and she and the assistant coach, Noah, they've been a big part of getting those internationals, Ethan. So I think, if anything, we're going to see more international flair for this Lynchburg team as Jenny Relaford, and worth pointing out, she was the associate head coach. So it's not a huge change, a huge jump up for Coach Relaford. She's been waiting for her moment and got it this year.
Yeah, I had the chance to talk to Shai and Micah. Micah was on the team last year. She was a great midfielder, did a lot of help for the ODAC championship and the team in general. And I was talking to them about the differences between the Netherlands and the United States, and they love it here. They love the coaching staff, they love the players, they love everything about this campus, and it's really nice to hear that, especially from me having my 5th year here.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a place that's easy to love for sure. We know that the campus is beautiful. Ooh, nice little aerial pass to go over the defense, but didn't find the intended target. First time we've really seen Bridgewater try to go airborne with the passing. That was clever.
Avery Watkins going to pass this one towards the middle. It's going to be intercepted by Bridgewater number 17, Molly Best. As she is going to pass it ahead and give some space to number 24, Kylie Amberger. Another swing and a miss from Mzizi. That's really rare to see twice, not just once, but twice.
Yeah, got back to be a nice wall there on the defensive end, but you're right, took the big hack. She's come up empty on a couple home run swings here in this one, but just keep giving it to her. She's gonna make something happen. Again, I think her real value is in the quick 1-touch and 2-touch stuff, short dribbles. She's really great on the spins, great channeling defenders. That's when you take a defender to the sideline and then reverse course and go back towards the goal. Not that she doesn't have the big hack in her arsenal. She's got that in the bag too. Just hasn't worked out the first couple times we've seen it.
Pass misplayed by Demude, gives Lynchburg the ball back, and then another pass goes wrong by Weinfordner, giving Bridgewater the ball back.
Yeah, high velocity there from Weinfordner. She was looking for Pleichter down here along this near left sideline. Probably the right idea. Maybe you take a little bit of mustard off and it gets to the target.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot of aggressive play from both these teams, which you obviously want to see as a fan, but as both of these team supporters or players, it's definitely encouraging. And you kind of want to do whatever you can to not stop the aggressiveness. You know, you want to keep the intensity up, keep both teams on their toes, especially if you're Bridgewater and with a game like this against the number 14 team in the nation.
Good phrasing there. If you can control the aggression and keep playing hard, try to play close to the speed limit. You don't want to go over the speed limit, but get as close to it as you can. So great point by you. I think both teams are playing really aggressive right now still. It's just a 1-0 Lynchburg lead. And we got less than a minute to play in quarter number 1. So that'll be interesting to see if we got any tactical adjustments in quarter number 2. Lynchburg's going to get another penalty corner opportunity. 0 for 2 so far.
Yeah, definitely going to see if they can figure maybe something out. Maybe it's you figure little things out at a time and put them together as the game goes on. But we're going to see what happens here as it's a pass in the middle. Pass to Mzizi. She's going to dribble around 3 Bridgewater College players.
I mean, that's her game right there. Look at that. And she faked the big swing and then put it back on the stick, redirected. Lynchburg will go for another penalty corner here. So that's the weird thing about the stats. I mean, I say Lynchburg 0 for 3, but is this just an extension of the previous penalty corner? Depends on how you look at it, and each coach is going to judge it differently. But Coach Relaford, again, that was one of her keys. She said, we've got to get better in this area of the game. Got to score more of these.
Yeah, and it looked like, and there's a shot, and it will be deflected, and it'll be in the goal. Lynchburg takes a 2-goal lead against Bridgewater College. It looked more like a deflection that just came across the middle of the goal, and Lynchburg seizing the opportunity to take a 2-goal lead here. As it looks like Madison Mark maybe scored that goal. We're going to get a replay here soon, hopefully.
Yeah, and sometimes with those tips going in, you have to go to the replay to see who got it. So let's take a look right here. Mark should be going to that far post. Yeah, just collecting the trash there, the crumbs, got enough of it to slide it past the diving defender. And so you will get credit for scoring off the penalty corner right there. Excellent stuff by Lynchburg, who now leads 2-0.
Yeah, ask and you shall receive, Kyle. We've been talking about it all game, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. Lynchburg with a 2-goal lead against the Bridgewater College Eagles, and that's just an amazing start for ODAC play for the Hornets. We're going to see if they can keep it up coming into the second quarter, and Bridgewater on their side, they're going to see if they can bounce back and see what they can change against this Lynchburg offense. 2-0 here at the end of the first quarter here on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. We will be right back.
Think a private education is too expensive? Think again. At the University of Lynchburg, you can get a personalized education for the cost of a state school. If you're commuting and you get our top scholarships, you could pay much less. And you get all that without the hassle of giant lecture halls. Our faculty know your name here and do more than just teach. You might even do research together and plan out your next career moves. Every great college has a great city. For Lynchburg, we are near urban areas with lots of restaurants, shopping, and events. Plus, we are one of the top schools in the area. Come see for yourself.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Welcome back here to the University of Lynchburg on Schellenberger Field as we are coming right back onto replays, and a great lead for Lynchburg, 2-0 going into the second quarter. And it's like you said before we went to commercial, Kyle, right here it's just kind of cleaning up the scraps and taking what lead you can get.
Yeah, the injection on that last penalty corner went to Danielle Kuhn. She took the big swing. Rebound comes out to Madison Mark. Madison Mark playing in game number 70 in her career today. That is her 10th career goal. So congratulations to Madison Mark, double-digit goals in her career, and could be looking for another one as we start the second quarter. Lynchburg scoring on the cage to our left in the all-black top and kilt.
Yeah, that goal today by Madison Mark will put it as her second on the season, and definitely a great starting point for the Hornets again. Always good to get a lead, especially in the ODAC with the powerhouse that we have. All games they're always going to be close.
Well, and I say those previous results for Bridgewater losing to Lynchburg don't matter, but after you fall behind 2-0, the Eagles do start to think, okay, here we go again. I've never beaten this team in my career, and now we're down 2-0. So excellent point by you, Lynchburg, in the driver's seat early, and another penalty corner opportunity.
Yeah, going to see if they can capitalize on yet another one as it goes to Mzizi as she passed it out right back to her. A little misplayed. She keeps control of it. Maybe looking for a pass. Could be trying to draw another penalty corner.
Yeah,
as she does, yeah.
Yeah, she got it there. Great call. Lynchburg going to the three players in the middle again, called the castle. So Mzizi gets it, and then it becomes a give and go. One touch over to her right and then tries to get it back in the middle. So that's a great design there for Lynchburg. Sometimes as a coach, it's like other sports. You'll call the same play over again, try to run it again, or maybe Lynchburg will go to something different right here. Let's see.
Pass right back to the middle, not to Mzizi this time. A hard shot deflected by Bridgewater, and they're going to pass it out up top, and it's going to go out of bounds. Taking some of the pressure off. Not really the pass you want, but it's definitely not a penalty corner. So they can ease the pressure off a little bit of their defense as Lynchburg going to try and develop a play back into the offensive end, and whistle will be blown, and we will go back to a Bridgewater College ball.
Yeah, either a foot or an obstruction there. But good call about the Bridgewater defense. They do clear it, although they're threatening to lose possession right here. Watch out, Lynchburg on the move again.
Yeah, Sar Prince taking it away from the Bridgewater defender or midfielder, and just doing a good job at keeping the pressure on. I mean, again, if you're Lynchburg, you want to do whatever you can to keep the pressure on because eventually your thought process is they're going to make a mistake as the pass is put right in the middle as Prinz is going to try and take a shot, possibly trying to dribble around, maybe drawing something out here to Mzizi. The shot will be deflected by the keeper, Miller. Right back to Mzizi, pass in the middle, and another shot deflected. And it'll be in for Lynchburg. A third goal. That one got some hang time on it. And Lynchburg takes a 3-0 lead with just under 13 minutes left in this second quarter. That'll be Sar Prinz. A goal for her, and that is going to be, I mean, it just gets better and better for Lynchburg.
Sar Prin's first goal of the season. She deserved it, too, because on that sequence, Ethan, she did a lot of the heavy lifting. Nice little slide shot right there, and then the second chance, the rebound came, got it in. Jill Pleichter was in the area, but goal for Sar Prinz, and now Lynchburg leading 3-0. Really, really in the driver's seat now, and not quite on easy street. Still a ball game, but Lynchburg's kind of having their way with things. That was one where they just so much penetration into the D there. Eventually something good's going to happen, and Sar Prinz with a nice job getting it by the goalie who, again, number 33, Madeline Miller, she deserves a lot of credit. She's impressed me, but she has been under a lot of duress in this one as Lynchburg is getting plenty of shots in her direction.
And, yeah, going back to what you said, I mean, that was definitely a well-deserved play. I mean, Sar Prinz took that one from Bridgewater in the midfield, drove it up, ended up just being a fantastic play by her and a well-deserved goal, like you said. Lynchburg going to try and keep up the pressure here. They are on defense. This has been rare this game as Bridgewater trying to keep the aggressiveness, and a whistle will be called, and it will still be Lynchburg ball. Or we might see a long pass here.
And with Lynchburg getting so many scoring circle entries and being on offense all game, if you're Bridgewater, this is what you have to do. You have to take advantage of that opportunity. Wow, the ball was just sliding in front of the net.
Just a slow roller from that pass. It looks like it was deflected by the Lynchburg defender and kind of threw the goalie off target maybe, and as she dove across the net.
Yes.
Looked like some really good defense after that. Defenders came, helped her out, and that's what they're there for. Bridgewater does draw a penalty corner, but that is there were some errors obviously by the defense there, but just an all-around good play as they stepped up there and saved a goal.
Yeah, it was really good. Samira Garavi, remember, it's the junior's first start of the season in goal for Lynchburg. She's made one save already, maybe another here. Oh, wow.
Interesting. That ball had some hang time, too. We're going to see what happens. A lot of commotion around the front of the net. Lynchburg eventually coming away with it. That's a fantastic defensive play by Lynchburg. Bridgewater stripping it away, trying to find the right pass into the middle. Lynchburg defense just too strong for Bridgewater right now.
Yeah, threat's not completely over yet, but now after a foot penalty, it will be. Sar Prinz in there mixing it up to help take that one away. Avery Watkins as well. The freshman has played so much this season. She's been impressing me on the defensive end. And here comes a Lynchburg fast break.
And number 23, Grace Peterson, striding down the line, trying to find maybe a pass in the middle, dribbling around the Bridgewater defense. And we're going to get a stoppage of play here, and it'll be another Lynchburg penalty corner.
Well, and again, coming in, we knew Lynchburg got a lot of penalty corners. That is really a byproduct of being so active offensively, being in the other team's circle so much. But now the conversion's starting to get better as well, as Lynchburg has converted a penalty corner. And let's see if they can convert another one as they get the alignment set up. Zizzy's on the bench right now. We got a lot of new faces out there, actually, Ethan.
Yeah, I was going to say that Mzizi not on the field right now. I was interested to see who they were basically going to put their go-to girl out there to try and maybe dribble around, maybe score, pass to somebody who could score a goal, or even just like Mzizi's done multiple times already today and just draw another penalty corner. And stoppage in play. We're going to go to a Bridgewater ball here, maybe holding off some of the pressure that they've had pretty much all of first half so far.
Yeah, Destiny Joseph, an outstanding freshman for Bridgewater, looking for somewhere to go, and she'll just try to dribble it out to the near sideline. Now a battle for it in front of Lynchburg's bench area.
Yeah, we saw Peterson lose her stick there, having to pick it up as number 11, Schuchter, our player to watch, is going to draw a Lynchburg penalty corner, I believe. Schuchter, she's been outstanding this season so far for this Lynchburg offense.
Yeah, she's one that the coaches rave about. Exeter, England, the southwest part of England. And you are the expert on England and all things English, but she has been just a delight to watch early in the season. And another one, the potential is just unlimited almost with her skill set.
Yeah, I'm definitely biased when it comes to English sports as the goalie comes out, tries to make a save. Pass going to be in the air, recovered by Lynchburg, passed out to Allie Freeman as she dribbles towards the semicircle, trying to find a pass towards the middle as she tries Bridgewater deflection. And it's going to be yet another penalty corner from Lynchburg. Like you said, they draw them all the time. It's just going to see if they can capitalize on the opportunities that Bridgewater's giving them.
Yeah, over 10 per game. They're going to reach that average pretty quickly. Heck, they might reach that average here in the first half. We got 9:29 left. But back to one of our overall themes. You'd like to convert more of these. Bridgewater's defense, their DPC, deserves a lot of credit in these situations. It's outstanding takeaway right there for the Eagles.
Yeah, that was a really good read by the defense there. Number 5, Daphne Demude, Bridgewater's player to watch there.
Yeah, she's a two-way player, huh?
Yeah, she
Offense
definitely.
and defense.
That was pretty much a perfect read from that pass off of the penalty corner.
Well, and it makes sense, too, that your high-skilled players are going to score a lot of goals, but they can also help you defensively as well. I mean, that actually shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Big swing there. Lynchburg might have got caught for a dangerous play as Maddie Schuchter took a swipe at it. It may have just been an obstruction or a foot as well. A lot of times when the whistle gets blown, if you don't watch the referee right away, you won't see the signal, and the play gets going again pretty quick. So sometimes as a fan and as a broadcaster, you don't always know what the call is.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of looking back and forth as that shot is deflected into the goal, and it is going to be a fourth Lynchburg goal here, second in this quarter. That it maybe could have been a shot that got deflected. It could have been a pass right in front of the net. I'm sure it doesn't really matter to Lynchburg. Number 23, Grace Peterson, working a lot this second quarter as she finds the back of the net on a deflection and beats the goalie of Bridgewater. Yeah, it looked like maybe a shot and a deflection. I mean, it could go either way, honestly.
First goal of the season for Grace Peterson. I think it was a shot. It was high velocity, but again, that's one of those educated guess kind of shots because you know Peterson is in the zip code, so she's there either for a rebound or just for a straight deflection. Might have screened the goalie a little bit there too. So a nice one for Lynchburg, stick to it kind of goal for the Hornets, and now another takeaway. They're really trying to throw gas on the fire now.
Yeah, definitely trying to keep the pressure up as they dribble towards the middle of the goal, finds nobody. Saar finding the ball and drawing yet another Lynchburg penalty corner. There are a ton of penalty corners right now so far. You would think that with all the penalty corners from both teams that this was a high-scoring game if you're not a field hockey enthusiast.
Well, and again, this is Lynchburg. When they lost to York 5-0 on Saturday, they had 12 penalty corners and obviously couldn't convert any. They got shut out. First time Lynchburg has been shut out this season. So it's an interesting part of the game. It is a part of the game that is not overlooked by any coach. I mean, all the teams are practicing the penalty corners from both perspectives, offense and defense. That's one thing that has really been a big part of field hockey in the last, I don't know, however many years, maybe 100. This game's been around a long time. Bridgewater's been playing some form of field hockey for 77 years on campus there in the Shenandoah Mountains of Virginia.
Yeah, that's definitely a crazy statistic as Bridgewater recovers the ball. They're going to try and go far. They've got 3 attackers going forward. Another stop and play. Still going to be Bridgewater ball.
Going to let Lynchburg really regroup the defense there. That was another one where the Eagles had a potential fast break on, but they just can't seem to sustain these attacks. They've had some circle penetrations. They've had some shots on goal, they being Bridgewater, but nothing so far. Shutout still standing for Lynchburg.
Do you think those small stoppage and plays could be tactical for Lynchburg? Maybe their defense isn't set up, that they want to play it like that and maybe get some stoppage and play to get somebody set up?
Yeah, for sure, and that would fall under the field hockey IQ piece, where as a defender, you know, hey, we're a little bit out of sorts. Let me get this ball out of play as quick as I can. So that's definitely possible.
As looks like a hard pass towards the middle of the semicircle hits a Bridgewater player, and it will be blown stopped, and will be a Bridgewater College ball. As that pass falls through to the Lynchburg defense. Looks like they're going to be playing out of the back here. Daniel Kuhn going to pass it down the line into the corner. We're going to maybe see some dribbling in, and falls a little short, maybe a missed dribble, and it's going to result in a Bridgewater ball.
Yeah, it was a good pass to get some space out there for Madison Mark, who has scored earlier in this one. I think she wanted to take on the defense, but sometimes you're dribbling, you look up, you see 3 defenders, and then you lose it, and that's basically what looked like happened there for Mark.
Yeah, Allie Freeman getting an interception there, moving back towards the offensive end for Lynchburg. As a player goes down, number 12, Destiny Joseph, that was a rough hit. I mean, that's...
Yeah, we've seen some physical stuff, some rough and tumble play. I mean, it's a contact sport, even though some folks may think it's not, and there's certain things that are not allowed by rule, but you do see some physical play. You see some bodies hitting the ground, and back to, like you said, both teams are really getting after it, playing hard, so that makes sense that you would lose the footing from time to time, even on the perfect turf at Schellenberger.
Yeah, and I tell you right now, I played baseball for about 16 years, and there is no chance that I would want to take a hard swung ball by Mzizi right to the chest or arm or leg or anything. Lynchburg driving right now towards the far side of the semicircle. A nice interception by Bridgewater. A nice dribble there. Getting through 3 Lynchburg players so far. Lynchburg taking it back, keeping that pressure on. I mean, it's even when they're on defense on Bridgewater's side of the field, as that ball's kicked away and we're going to get a Bridgewater ball. It's like even if they're on the defense on Bridgewater's side of the field after the ball got taken right away, they're still pressuring. They're doing whatever they can to not fold and make sure Bridgewater doesn't know what they're doing with the ball.
Yeah, it's a true high press for Lynchburg. They're really making it tough for Bridgewater to break out. And the adjustment for the Eagles is probably more passing, less dribbling. You have to try to make Lynchburg cover sideline to sideline. So you got to move the ball quicker, easier said than done, as we've seen. And Lynchburg's so good with just the foot speed and the physical fitness. They can press you up front, and then they can hustle back and play defense when they need to. Speaking of defense, here's number 12, Destiny Joseph. She's a defender, but doing a little barnstorming here across onto the offensive side of the field. Let's see if she gets involved in the attack a little bit.
Yeah, it looks kind of like it's more of an all-hands-on-deck. I mean, it's like when they get a forward on Lynchburg's side of the field, they're going to do everything they can to open up the play, maybe adding more players to pass to on their side.
Yeah, and that's one that it can be amoeba-like as far as the formation. Some coach encourage that. They want players to go anywhere and everywhere. Other coaches prefer that structure. Stay in your area, pass and move within a certain zone. So all part of what you would call the tactics, and then back to that IQ piece is good players are going to know when they should make a long run and leave an area, and good players are going to know when they just need to pass and get rid of it and stay home.
And that could be why Bridgewater is playing the long ball a little bit more today than they probably would like to against a team like Lynchburg. Maybe hoping that pass gets through, a defender makes a mistake or anything like that. Just kind of trying to capitalize on what a team like Lynchburg is going to give you.
Yeah, Lynchburg comes in at 5-2, Bridgewater 5-2-1. There is one common opponent. Both teams played Mary Washington earlier this year. Lynchburg got a win against Mary Washington. That was a 2-0 victory for the Hornets. Bridgewater lost to Mary Washington 3-0. Zizzy's going to have to hustle back and play defense. Little one-on-one here. Great dribble.
Emily Tyler trying to bring this one in towards Lynchburg's side of the field as there is a whistle blown. And it'll be Bridgewater's ball right outside the semicircle. This is definitely a chance that Bridgewater's going to have to capitalize on as they pass it back. Number 8, Lindsay Davis, dribbling towards the right-hand corner of your screen. 3 Lynchburg defenders around her, and she somehow slips the ball to number 24, Kylie Amberger.
Good takeaway there from Lynchburg. Go back to the previous long run for Bridgewater. Mazizi proving again her weight is worth probably more than gold because the defenders were out of position, something we were just talking about. Mazizi's foot speed, she can just get back, close the distance, and then makes it really tough for the Bridgewater Eagle offense to get anything going.
Yeah, and I think that also could be due to she's a lot smaller than everybody on the field right now. You can see her right there on the left side of your screen. She just walked out. She's definitely one of the smaller players you'll probably see here in the ODAC, if not Division III field hockey. And she's a workhorse, it looks like.
Yeah, well, you mentioned her size. Pound for pound, she's the best field hockey player around. There's just almost no doubt in my mind. Mazizzi's going to have to play some defense here. Look at it. The takeaway, absolutely perfect. Got the stick low. She can play from that crouch but keep her head up. Her head is always on a swivel, a phrase you hear about in football, but Mazizzi plays like that as well. Her head is always turning. She always knows where the pieces are on the chessboard. She'll try to close in here a triple team. Mazizzi will end up getting a piece of this and start an offensive run for Lynchburg.
Yeah, we were talking about Mazizzi for probably 2 minutes. It just writes itself as that pass in the middle. Almost got the deflection there to go into the goal. It goes wide left. Definitely something that Lynchburg wants to capitalize on. Lucky for, I don't want to say lucky, but definitely good for Bridgewater as we have 5 seconds left in the quarter, in the half. Bridgewater going to retain possession as the horn is blown, and that will be the first half for field hockey here. First ODAC matchup between both these teams. Lynchburg 4, Bridgewater College 0. We will be back after halftime has completed here on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.
At the University of Lynchburg, we've lowered our tuition, so you get a better value for a great education. Come see our campus for yourself.
All right, my name is Joshua Carr. I am a senior. I am a theater major as well as a history minor. I love the arts. I love acting. I love entertaining. I live in 5th Street, the historic black neighborhood. The money came in, transfer, scholarship, all that. I appreciate that greatly. I pay my own tuition. I ain't got no help. I pay everything myself. I mean, I'm smart too. So they gave it like, you smart, here, here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that though. You come here to do a job. I came here to do a job. A student's job is to get that degree and make something of ourselves. We got everything for you. We got you a 24-hour library. You got these sorority fraternities. We got the shoot for you. Is you gonna put it on? That's how University of Lynchburg is. Success is in the details. You know what I'm saying? It's like you learn it, know better, do better. What I love is they allow us to speak. They want our voices to be heard. They want us to talk. They want us to bring up the discomfort. They respect our point of views. They respect Black Lives Matter. They respect the LGBT community. They respect those, you know what I'm saying? That's what I love about my school. They respect that and they allow us to showcase and voice our expressions. I love the diversity here. I love the different interests of people here. I can act, dance, sing, box, play football. I can do it all, you know what I'm saying? I can teach somebody that doesn't know what I know, and that person can teach me something that I don't know that they know. That's what you get here. You get diversity, you get different people with different knowledge coming together, sharing information and helping each other out. That's what I love. That's why I say people. I love the people here. College, think about it. If it's not for you, fall back. If it's for you, go further with it. And University of Lynchburg will be that choice. It's gonna be right there. They're gonna make the shoe. They're gonna do what it do. It's up for you to put that shoe on. So that's what I say.
Welcome to the Campus Recreational Department at the University of Lynchburg. We believe in a student-centered approach to recreation, making sure that all students have fun and engaging activities that promotes wellness, personal growth, and community building.
Our team works to provide a variety of recreation opportunities for all our undergrad and graduate students.
Let's take a look at the different areas of Campus Rec.
Campus Recreation covers all outdoor recreation. Our team offers dozens of trips per semester, maintains recreation facilities on campus, and offers outdoor certificates and leadership training.
Intramurals is open to all students who wants to play on a team. We have men's, women's, and co-ed leagues for each sport we offer.
Those looking for next level competition can join club sports. These are student-led organizations with the support of Campus Recreation. You can join one of our established club sports, or you can start your own with our support.
Campus Recreation offers an excellent amount of opportunities to stay active, make new friends, and develop new skills. We hope to see you soon.
private education is too expensive? Think again. At the University of Lynchburg, you can get a personalized education for the cost of a state school. If you're commuting and you get our top scholarships, you could pay much less. And you get all that without the hassle of giant lecture halls. Our faculty know your name here and do more than just teach. You might even do research together and plan out your next career moves. Every great college has a great city. For Lynchburg, we are near urban areas with lots of restaurants, shopping, and events. Plus, we are one of the top schools in the area. Come see for yourself.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
This is the dough. It's wicked cute. It's always so pretty.
Hello and welcome back here to Schellenberger Field. It is currently halftime here. If you're just now joining us, you missed a doozy of a first half. University of Lynchburg Hornets up 4, Bridgewater Eagles 0. Kyle, let's take a look at some of the stats here. There are a couple things that stand out for both teams. What's your analysis on this?
Well, 9 penalty corners for Lynchburg, just 1 for Bridgewater. We knew that getting the volume of penalty corners for Lynchburg had been a strong suit, averaging over 10 per game. Looks like they're going to get there. They did convert 1, and that's a good sign. Coach Relaford for Lynchburg would like to see that number be even higher. I mentioned a percentage of somewhere around 20 or 25% conversion rate would be good. Right now, Lynchburg is under 10% on the season. But they did have some strong penalty corners, just getting more circle penetration, more offensive attack for Lynchburg overall.
Yeah, and on the flip side, looking at the saves for both teams, Bridgewater 3, Lynchburg 1. The Bridgewater goalkeeper, she's been absolutely crushed with shots, 7 shots for Lynchburg. What do you think needs to change, not just for the goalie, but for maybe the defense for Bridgewater?
Yeah, I think it is a collective unit. It's a sport where the goalie is going to have the goals against average. The goalie gets the saves, but it is truly a defensive unit. So we saw some really good stuff from Madeline Miller. She kept a bunch of balls out of the cage, did let 4 get behind her. As we're talking about Miller, I do have to note, I think Bridgewater has made a change in their goalie. It looks like Ashley is now in net, the sophomore from Yorktown, Virginia. Both goalies are actually from Yorktown for Bridgewater. But this has been the trend for them. They've played both goalkeepers pretty much equally this season. So we'll see how goalie number 2 fares for Bridgewater, defending the cage to our right. Lynchburg already threatening to attack early in the third period, leading 4-0.
Yeah, Lynchburg, again, still dominating pressure, dribbling towards the semicircle as Bridgewater gets a takeaway there. And it'll be whistled dead and Lynchburg ball. We're going to see Saar passing it towards the front of the net as it just goes out of bounds, missing the Lynchburg and the Bridgewater defender as it goes a little wide. And Bridgewater will get possession here on their defensive half. We're going to most likely see Lynchburg keeping the pressure up as 2 players immediately start putting pressure on the defense as Saar falls down, and it will be Bridgewater ball still. You know, we've been talking about the pressure a lot this game from Lynchburg. What do you think Bridgewater's halftime talk was going into this second part of the game?
Well, we touched on it briefly as Maddie Schuchter tries to make a run, but then her pass is intercepted. I think for Bridgewater, A great dribble there, but probably a little less dribbling, more passing. Move it quick, one-touch, two-touch passes, spread that field, get Lynchburg defending sideline to sideline. Then it's a little bit easier to break out and get into your offensive attack. And Bridgewater has done that here, albeit it was with a little bit of a longer dribble, something I said maybe they shouldn't do. Nice flat stick defense there on the ground by Allie Freeman. Bridgewater will carry on, but now they have lost it.
Yeah, Klingler trying to drive into the middle of the circle there, or the semicircle, excuse me, but just taken away. Whistle blows it dead, gives it back to Lynchburg. Lynchburg, we were talking about the pressure, and, you know, it was good. Excuse me. We saw that long pass from Bridgewater. We talked about it in the first half of the game. You know, there are a lot of long passes, maybe trying to find the perfect pass, or maybe the Lynchburg defender making a mistake. And we saw that there. As it was a really good pass towards Bridgewater. We're going to see Lynchburg driving back in, causing even more pressure.
Well, it's back to what we've been saying, that high press. Look out here, goal-scoring opportunity.
Pass right into the middle, hits the defender of Bridgewater, pass shot back into the goal, takes a deflection, it goes to the left post, and it will be Bridgewater ball. You know, you love to see the continuous amount of shots from Lynchburg, and I can't help but feel bad for the Lynchburg goalies and the defense. Just such a powerhouse of Lynchburg's offense and midfield, just knowing what to do every second of the game, pretty much.
Yeah, it's been clinical at times for Lynchburg. It probably maybe could be better if you ask Coach Jenny Relaford. She might tell you, we still have more. We've still got to play a little bit better. But overall, just as an innocent bystander, an impartial observer, you really like how Lynchburg's played so far. Bridgewater's key right now is first just try to break the shutout, get a goal. Looked like we were seeing something there. A good long run from Riley Flick. But again, maybe just a bit too much dribbling. Got to try to offload that at some point. Easier said than done, and it's easy to say that up here. Down on the field level, it becomes harder to find those white jersey teammates and get it to somebody.
Yeah, and I think definitely when you talk about the dribbling, maybe just a pass towards the middle of the net could help. Maybe finding a deflection. I mean, you never really know. I mean, that's how Lynchburg's gotten a couple of their goals today, a deflection from either a shot or even a pass, just finding the net. As that shot from number 3, Riley Flick, can't find the net, and it'll go right past behind our goalkeeper's net here.
Back to passing and what you were just saying, Ethan. When you go to the middle, you then open up the field because you can go back to either side. You can continue down the middle. When you pass to the sidelines, you stretch the defense. You force them to cover that area unless the defense is just packed in tight, which Lynchburg is not. We know that. Lynchburg scrambling around really with the high-pressure defense. Basically goal line to goal line. Lynchburg is really getting after Bridgewater. So back to the passing, you have to try to use all those concepts, and it's a split-second decision. I mean, we're talking about it up here like you've got time to diagram every play out on the whiteboard. You don't. You have to make those decisions really quick, and you have to get teammates open, and you have to have on-target, accurate passing.
Yeah, most definitely. And when you say going to the whiteboard, you know, like when you would see in basketball during a timeout, they drop a play that can maybe go into another, like more plays adding on to each other. When you look at field hockey, really the only play you can draw up is a corner penalty, and that may not even go as planned, and you have to kind of pivot and just improvise possibly and maybe draw another penalty corner like Mzizi's been doing this game, or maybe just putting a shot on net and hoping that it could possibly take a deflection and just find its way into the back of the goal.
That's exactly right. Your penalty corners are going to be a bit more scripted out. You could even do that on just a general stop and start situation after a penalty in open field play. But other than that, most of your field hockey is going to have to be improvised out there. You've got your concepts and things you've been talking about, but there is a lot of improvisation that's going to happen game to game.
Yeah, it's definitely knowing what could possibly happen, even if it might not happen. It's like you said, improvising, figuring out what you're going to do on the next play if it were to come to you. We talk a lot about that in baseball, where before a pitch happens, you have to know who's on the bases, what's going to happen if the ball comes to you, and what you have to do. It's controlling what you can control.
Karen Klingler with a pass that just went out of play. And that was one where I think Klingler was waiting for her teammate to cut to that open area. It was supposed to be a lead pass into space, and it ends up just going out of play. So a giveaway, and now it's Lynchburg trying to bust out and get on offense again.
Yeah, we've actually seen a lot more pressure from Bridgewater's offense, putting some emphasis on we need to at least start our offense and score a goal. Like you said earlier, getting rid of the shutout and hoping that can create a positive impact and put even further pressure on Lynchburg's offense. As Lynchburg finding their way towards the offensive side of the field again, and whistle's going to be blown dead, and it's going to be another penalty corner for Lynchburg, trying to capitalize again, maybe figuring something out and extending their lead. It's 4-0 right here with 7.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Lynchburg trying to make it a 5-goal lead. Bridgewater trying to contain the power offense that Lynchburg has been providing right here in the first ODAC game of both these teams' schedules.
So you got a new player doing the injection here. That'll be Tatum Humphreys, the sophomore, number 3.
Mzizi with a shot towards the goal, deflected right back to her. Bridgewater going to take it away. Mzizi giving chase. Stick falls on the floor. And we're going to see play blown dead by the whistle. Lynchburg retaining possession there. Tries to find Mzizi. Maybe. Pass goes a little far. And Bridgewater going to take back possession here. Maybe trying to stop the aggressiveness of Lynchburg's offense. Again, maybe just to try and possibly take pressure off of themselves and force some time for your other players to get in position for the offensive Lynchburg side.
Yeah, if you're Bridgewater, you can't be predictable on those clears and those breakouts. You can't just have straight line runs. Again, you have to use your passing. You have to angle dribble. You have to zigzag. Otherwise, Lynchburg just keeps swallowing and swarming, and it ends up with situations like these where Bridgewater's sort of got their back to the wall again, although the Eagles had a chance to get out and fast break it, but Lynchburg just too tenacious, too tough. I mean, Lynchburg, so much of it is the foot speed, the athleticism. They just make it really difficult. They close down all the passing windows really quickly.
Yeah, really nice interception there by Bridgewater. Unfortunately gives the ball right back to Lynchburg, but going back to the zigs and the zags that you were talking about, do you think it could be maybe trying new things and not doing the same thing over and over again? We saw at the beginning of this half, Bridgewater did find their stride a little bit. They got it into their offensive zone. Do you think maybe their coach was talking about trying new things and possibly figuring a way around the defense?
Yeah, I think less predictability was part of the game plan at halftime. Now that's always not always comfortable to do, obviously, and Lynchburg, again, even if you do something different, they find ways to take that away. Just back to being so athletic and so quick, the game is a lot easier when you move fast and your stick handling is good. And we've seen that from Lynchburg all game. Look, good little battle right there on the goal line to try to dig it free.
Yeah, definitely the defense that Bridgewater wants to see there. 2 defenders on the Lynchburg attacker. It will be Lynchburg ball as Allie Freeman passes it back, trying to contain possession here. Pass towards the middle. It's going to find some open space, but unfortunately it goes out of bounds, and it will be Bridgewater ball. We're going to see 7 subs coming onto the field here from both teams. 3 from Lynchburg, 4 from Bridgewater. That's definitely an interesting part of the sport when you're watching this for the first couple times, is there are a ton of subs that go in and out of the game.
Yeah, both teams like to go really deep, 19 or 20 deep. Typically, Lynchburg does have a few that will stay on the entire game. The freshman Avery Watkins comes to mind. She's got 3 games where she's played all 60 minutes. But you're right, see a lot of substitution, and that pattern can change based on the flow of the game, based on how physically demanding the game is, who needs a rest, all those sorts of things. We're still early October as well, so you may not have the physical fitness quite where you want it as a coach. You might have to sub early in the year, maybe a little bit more than you would later on in the season.
Yeah, we see the first sub that comes on for Lynchburg is Grace Peterson, and That one's going to find the back of the net. It goes through the goalkeeper's legs. A really nice shot from Lynchburg. We're going to try and see who that one was. That is going to put a 5-goal lead here in front of Lynchburg. A beautiful pass towards the goal. It just kind of missed every Bridgewater defender. Number 23, Grace Peterson. That'll be her second goal. Her second goal of the day. You almost want to say night as the sun is falling a little bit. That is a fantastic, I mean, it's already a fantastic game for Grace Peterson, but for Lynchburg to take a 5-goal lead, you love to see it. If you're Bridgewater, you kind of just want to, again, contain the offense and maybe counter and find something. You got to figure out a way that you can get the shutout gone here.
For Grace Peterson, first career multi-goal game, really good job with the hand-eye coordination just to get a bouncing ball and move it along the line, then get it between the legs of the keeper there. 5-hole. Now Lynchburg really had to work hard to keep the defensive shutout intact. Nice job by Garavi to come out and cut down the angle there. Threat's not over yet.
Yeah, that's definitely, if you're Bridgewater, the best possible outcome that you can have coming off of a 5th goal, doing whatever you can to put pressure back on Lynchburg. And definitely a fantastic opportunity for them. Unfortunately, Garava just came out of the net, did a really good job sliding and knocking that ball away. Bridgewater still has possession here as they're trying to find a way to get just even the ball into the semicircle. I mean, they've struggled to just find the ball to get it close to the net.
Yeah, it was a good dribble there by Klingler to free things up, but now Lynchburg on that far sideline closing and collapsing on Bridgewater. Eagles are going to hold on to it. Well, you talked about Bridgewater trying to score right off Lynchburg's goal. That's a common theme as well. Attack when the other team has just scored, because as the goal-scoring team, you exhale a little bit, you let the hair down a little bit, and you might have been gassed from your offensive run. So that's a great time is to counterattack right off the other team's goal. Unfortunately, Bridgewater really couldn't get it in there, and now Lynchburg has a chance to just kind of regroup, set the defense the way they want, and dig in and really get after it.
Yeah, Bridgewater definitely doing a really good job as that shot goes a little wide to the left of the net. Not really any trouble for the goalkeeper there. Giving the ball back to Lynchburg. There she is right there. Samira Garava doing a fantastic job, having a shutout so far. Going to rely on her defense to do whatever they can. Keep working hard, being the workhorses that Lynchburg always are.
Yeah, Garavi, a junior from Germany, another international for Lynchburg, really had only played 25 minutes coming in to the game, had a couple saves to her credit. She's basically doubled that save total today as her team leading 5-0. Just over a minute to play in period 3.
We're going to see Bridgewater getting the ball at around midfield. And that pass goes right to a Lynchburg defender / midfielder. Lynchburg, they really like playing out of the back here. I think they have to right here because of Bridgewater and the way the Eagles are really taking some more chances and threatening. I think they'd actually prefer to stay on this side of the field and be on offense the entire time, but Lynchburg's so good, goal line to goal line, sideline to sideline. I mean, they really have looked sharp in this game. If it ended right now, Ethan, it would be Lynchburg's biggest win of the season. They beat Stockton 4-1, and that was a 3-goal win. And they beat DePaul 3-0. So Lynchburg right now, if it ended, this 5-goal advantage would be the biggest of the season, and who knows, it could even grow. Yeah, I mean, there obviously hasn't been a ton of goal scoring for Lynchburg. There's been enough, obviously, to go 5-2. I mean, with the new we've been talking about the new coach and the new system. Obviously, that's a huge talking point with Enza Steele being here for 45 years, being the most successful coach in Lynchburg history. What do you think are some system changes? Like, with how successful she was, do you think there is a lot of things that you need to get better at? Or
well, I think Jenny Relaford would tell you her team can always get better, and they want to continue to do that. I think, again, personnel, player change is probably a bit more of the story this year than Coach Enza Steele, the legend, leaving. But you got to remember, Coach Relaford was the associate head coach. She was an architect of a lot of this recent greatness as well. Been on campus for a decade now, so it's not a big system change, in my opinion. Everybody's entitled to theirs as well, as we've got 3 in the books here, Ethan.
Yeah, we have 3 quarters down. Lynchburg up 5-0 on the Bridgewater Eagles. We will be right back in just a short amount of time to bring you the last and 4th quarter of field hockey ODAC NCAA play. Welcome back, everybody. A quick break there at the end of the 3rd quarter. My name is Ethan Morotsky. To my right is Kyle Haney. We are in the process of a shutout for the Lynchburg Hornets. 15 more minutes to go. What do you think is the plan for this last quarter for both teams?
Well, just watching the coaching staffs in between quarters, Ethan. Coach Relaford was on her feet, coaching hard, sliding around, trying to show some people what she wanted from a physical perspective. I think it was a defensive stance she was working on. So Lynchburg is still getting after it. I think for Bridgewater, you're looking to build some positive momentum. Yes, a comeback might be out of the question, but you never know. You score 1, you go from there. If you're Bridgewater, at minimum, you try to get some positive vibes going. Bridgewater plays again at home against St. Mary's on Saturday. Lynchburg will be in home action Saturday, hosting Rowan, so that's exciting. Get back-to-back games here on the turf at Shelley. It had been a 5-game road trip for Lynchburg, Ethan. They were excited to be back at home, playing in front of not a massive crowd, but we've got quite a few fans that are hanging out, and it's always nice to not have to jump on that long bus ride as well for Lynchburg. So they were excited to be at home here today, and gosh, they've played like it.
Yeah, long bus rides back when I was playing were definitely the worst, obviously, especially if going after a loss, going to Shenandoah, obviously always a tough team. As Lynchburg towards the net, it gets taken away by Bridgewater. Definitely an opportunity there. And going back to road trips, I mean, Shenandoah is a long trip from Lynchburg. Sometimes we would stay in a hotel. And they've been a tough team all 4 years since I've played. And if you lose to them, it's just you think about it a lot on the way home, and it's always a struggle. As a really nice interception here for Lynchburg, driving towards the corner of the semicircle. We might see a pass in here. Dribbles past 1, and a really nice Bridgewater takeaway there for the defense. Lynchburg keeping up the pressure, and a kick ball there as it will go to Bridgewater ball, stopping the play, maybe stopping some momentum from Lynchburg.
Yeah, that was Mallory Lamb that had a really nice run with the dribble, back and forth, flipping the stick over. That's actually called an Indian dribble. Came about in the 50s and the 60s because the Indian and Pakistani players were so good at it. So it was a nice long run there from Mallory Lamb. Good job by Bridgewater to recover. And then Sar Prinz was the one keeping it on the offensive side of things for Lynchburg.
I'm sure a lot of people didn't know it was called that. I mean, you learn something new every day on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network broadcast.
Well, it's gotten to the point now, like most things in sports, where it's been around so long that a lot of people would just call it dribbling now, and that's just how you move the ball effectively. But when you flip it from the forehand to the backhand back and forth quickly like that, you can really cover a lot of ground full speed, because that's the other interesting thing about field hockey. It's hard to run full speed and still have good ball control. So that's what the great ones can do. They can move quickly and still manage to keep it glued to their stick. Speaking of great, watch it right here.
Lynchburg driving towards the semicircle, pass towards the middle of the net. Goalie comes out, causes a little bit of disturbance. Bridgewater clears it towards the close end of the field. It's going to remain Lynchburg ball. Pressure going to continue as number 24, Lauren Mark, dribbles into the semicircle, past 3 defenders, taking some deflections. And it's going to be blown dead for a Bridgewater ball. Really good offense there by Lynchburg. Just couldn't really get that final pass.
Yeah, it was Jill Pleichter that really was on the move nicely, the pass to the middle, and then the goalie, Ashley Now, with a nice job to step up. If you're a Lynchburg fan, maybe you thought there was a bit too much contact, but I like the goalie play there. You got to be active. I think she's doing a great job of not just being stationary in front of the cage back there, moving around, trying to get more active. 5-0 Lynchburg lead. Let's see where the Hornets try to go on this possession. That's Pleichter down on the goal line in the corner.
Yeah, really nice dribble there past both the Bridgewater defenders that were on her. Play is going to be blown dead. That was in the very back corner. That was a really nice move. It looked like she went in between both of the defenders, and the dribble just went a little too far. But it's a really nice move. It's motivating for the Lynchburg offense, especially first ODAC game. You know, it's motivating to be up 5-0 and want more. And especially it's really nice as from a coach's standpoint to see your players want even more after you're already, I wouldn't say blowing out the other team, but it's a very nice lead that they have, and it's motivating for the coach to see their players want even more.
That was clearly the message in between quarters, was keep your foot on the accelerator. Let's try to score and score again. Lynchburg, different personnel. We've seen Grace Peterson score 2, but it's 5 goals from 4 different players, I believe, Ethan. So that's a good sign as well. And we've still got some marquee names that have not scored in this game. So it would be a great chance for Lynchburg to get somebody else a tally. And I think it's Mallory Lamb right here, who has been playing more in this fourth quarter. Let's see if Mallory Lamb can maybe insert herself into the proceedings.
Yeah, Mallory Lamb starting today as that pass towards the circle hits a defender. It might have hit one of the Lynchburg players too, but just goes right back to us. Allie Freeman passing it towards the semicircle. Maybe a Lynchburg shot here. Pass towards the side. Shot deflected. Tried to go over the top of the goalkeeper. Just went a little, maybe a foot high. Really like the idea there from Lynchburg. Almost made it 6-0.
Jill Pleichter was the one that had the final touch on that. You're right. It was a great idea. I think Aurora Balsamo set it up. Here's the high pressure again from Lynchburg. The offensive players turn into defenders, and they just make it impossible for you to move the ball.
Yeah, it has to be so frustrating for this Bridgewater team, as Lynchburg going to draw another penalty corner. The first one of this quarter, we are at just under 9 minutes. We've definitely seen a lot less corners for Lynchburg this second half than we did the first half. And I don't think it has anything to do with the pressure. I just think Bridgewater's defense may be playing just a little bit better.
Excellent observation. It was 9 in the first half. We thought we were going to have 9 or 10 more in half number 2, but you're absolutely right. It'll be Allie Freeman with the injection here. The sophomore going to go out wide left.
Pass towards the middle, right back to who got the corner pass. Shot, a little weak of a shot. Bridgewater defender intercepting that, and it will be blown dead. And Bridgewater will gain possession. Pass a little too far. Bridgewater going to keep possession there. That was a really nice play. Pass ahead for the Bridgewater attacker. She's got somebody in the middle. Let's see if she can get the pass for it. And amazing defense for Lexi Francis for Lynchburg. That is fantastic. 2-on-1 defense right there for the Hornets. Bridgewater still has possession here, trying to keep the pressure up, maybe trying to get this shutout gone here for the Lynchburg goalkeeper.
Yeah, Lexi Francis, the offensive player there for Bridgewater, just got absolutely the door slammed in her face by, I believe, her counterpart, number 9, Mallory Lamb, who hustled all the way back. There's a shot at Avery Watkins, the freshman. She will come off. Riley Wineforder on. So Lynchburg substituting, a little picture-in-picture replay. Look at the stop right there. Low stick, perfect timing, got the hips down as well. That makes it easier to change directions and then also anticipate the other player, your opponent's change of direction.
Yeah, you would like to think that if that pass did get through towards the middle, that for Bridgewater hopefully would have been a definite goal, but you never, I mean, I guess we'll never really know. You hope that your goalkeeper would have stopped it. You hope that your attacker would have scored. But just an all-around great defensive play by Mallory Lamb.
Impressive, and we've been talking about Lynchburg's offense so much that the defense deserves their share of credit as well. And after all, it's a shutout. That feels pretty good, but let's see if Bridgewater can change that narrative and get their first goal. A real opportunity developing here.
Yeah, a lot of commotion going into the front of the net. Those are those passes that we were talking about earlier. Just maybe throwing a really like a hot pass into the middle of the semicircle, possibly finding a deflection and finding one of your open players.
Yeah, always a great idea to get that centering pass. It opens up the entire goal, really breaks down the defense that way. And that's, again, you have to think outside back to in. You have to think inside out when you're trying to clear. Another penalty corner here for Bridgewater. We haven't seen them with many chances. Just one in the first half, and I believe this is their first of the second half.
Yeah, Lexi Francis going to pass it into the middle, maybe a shot towards goal. Great defense by Allie Freeman to close down the lane from the attacker of Bridgewater. It looked like she was trying to get a shot off, and some contact there. Both players going down.
Allie Freeman, the sophomore from Yorktown, played in all 23 last year. That speed from Allie Freeman was impressive. I think it caught the Eagles' offensive player off guard. There's a picture-in-picture. Yeah, Allie Freeman on the move right there. That was really good. And, again, the timing to get the stick down on the ball, jam it up right there. Impressive on the DPC unit, the defensive penalty corner unit for Lynchburg.
Yeah, we're going to see some subs come on here for Lynchburg. Number 24, Lauren Mark, going to come on to the field as Lynchburg has possession. It's going to be to number 27, Megan Stifler, with the Bridgewater defender in front of her, finds Mzizi. And it looks like they're going to try and create some space in the middle. Really, really nice interception there by Bridgewater.
Yeah, perfect timing on that play by Bridgewater. Daphne Day-Mude, who we really haven't called her name much. She was the leading goal scorer coming in for the Eagles. She actually led their squad in points the last 2 seasons. We haven't talked about Daphne Day-Mude a ton, and maybe Lynchburg deserves some credit for taking away Bridgewater's best player. I'm sure she's gotten some special emphasis in the person-to-person marking defensive construction for Lynchburg.
Absolutely, and there are definitely some notes probably by both the defensive coaches and the goalie coaches from any team that goes up against her. With 6 goals on the season, leading her team.
Yeah, she's a first-team All-ODAC player last year, so you're right. She's not going to sneak up on anybody, that's for sure.
Lynchburg going to get possession here, playing from the back still, trying to regain pressure onto that Eagles defense. Going up the midfield with Allie Freeman. Going to see Mzizi here, maybe pass to the corner here, and she does. There's going to be a lot of open space in front of Maddie Schuchter. Going up towards the middle, back to Mzizi. Going to try and dribble past 3 Hornet defenders. That is fantastic. A pass towards the middle of the net. Not really the hardest of passes, but it definitely would have gotten to the Hornet attacker. Really good defense there by Bridgewater. Really good dribbling by Mzizi. Going by, again, 3 defenders. It can't be easy, especially against the team that's found some success here in their schedule. I mean, Bridgewater, they've had a very good start of the season. Obviously, they were trying to bring that success with the win that they're coming off of into this first ODAC game.
Bridgewater hasn't had a winning record, I believe, since 2016, but all hopes and indications were that this was going to be a great season. They've obviously gotten off to a wonderful start, 5-2-1. I still think a winning record is well within reach for Bridgewater. They'll have to figure out how to regroup after this one, as we've got under 4 to play now, and 5 goals in that short of amount of time is not really likely for Bridgewater. If they score 1, though, we reserve the right to change that opinion, Ethan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the bigger things that the coach for Bridgewater is going to talk about is taking it one game at a time. You can't look at a game in the future and have a game the previous day, like I said when we were doing volleyball the other day. You want to look at the game that's right in front of you, not the game that's 3 matches ahead of you.
For sure. Gina Steffen in her 4th year as the head coach at Bridgewater. She was a player at Brockport and a good one. Jenny Relaford was a player at Michigan State back in her playing days, which were not that long ago, even though she's been on campus for about a decade, as I said.
Yeah, she was under Coach Enza Steele for 10 years, and she's definitely shown that she's more than capable of coaching this Lynchburg team. Again, starting off the season at 5-2, and if the score holds out from 5-0 here against Bridgewater, 6-2, I mean that's a fantastic start. New team, new players recruiting that you most likely did not recruit. Obviously, from Coach Enza Steele's perspective of the recruiting side, it's definitely a new take for the coach, but you just kind of got to take what you're bringing in from the team, and you just got to play with what you got, and then she's doing a fantastic job.
Well, and she wants this team to write their own story and not necessarily be bound to the pressures and expectations of previous teams, because each year is a new year, and you get new personnel and new faces, and how do they mix? How do they gel? How do they come together? This team seems to be coming together. As Jill Pleiter is going to get a chance. Got a player out in front. She could pass to, maybe.
Yeah, they had a 2-on-1 attack there. Looked like she wanted to go into the corner and maybe dribble past the defender. Passes it eventually out. We're going to find an attacker in the middle. Sticks collide there. It's going to go back towards Lynchburg's defensive line as she dribbles through the legs of the Bridgewater defender. Pass towards the middle. Can't find anybody. And Zizzy intercepts it. Keeps it in the semicircle. We're going to see a shot here. Saved by the keeper. Really, really good kick there by Ashley Now. Fantastic save. Sorry, Kyle.
No, that was just great field hockey all the way around. Lynchburg with a pretty good setup. Mazizzi did a nice job to keep the ball sequestered around the D there, and then a good pass to set up the teammate, and then a great save from Bridgewater. So that's the kind of thing that you love to see, that kind of high-action play where things can go one way or the other. Lynchburg denied a goal. I think Bridgewater's going to feel good about that sequence there. It's going to come in a losing effort, but, again, there should be some positive takeaways for the Eagles in this one. For Lynchburg, they're thinking about what do we need to work on still, because the 5-0 win is going to feel pretty good heading back into the locker room.
I think that's what separates the good teams from the best teams, is you can win 5-0 and still go into your next practice or game if you have a back-to-back game and think, what can we do better from, instead of winning 5-0, winning maybe 8-0 or 9-0. Wanting it's staying hungry and wanting more goals and more wins, even after you get a win like we probably will today with a minute left in this game.
Destiny Joseph has impressed. Another good takeaway there to deny Jill Pleiter an opportunity. And just a freshman for Bridgewater, so she's definitely one to keep your eyes on. A lot of young talent for both these teams, Ethan. The young talent for Lynchburg, Maddie Schuchter, Jill Pleiter, Avery Watkins, those 3 freshmen right there really pop off the stat sheet, and then also they're passing the eye test as well. I'm certainly impressed with the frosh, the first years for Lynchburg.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so inspiring for not just the other players on your team, but again for the coach, knowing that you have amazing players behind your already fantastic players on the field that you can bring in for depth.
And you got to think, too, Lynchburg, a lot of the people that they're relying on from last year were freshmen last season, like Kanye Mazizzi right here. What a move to get free. Let's see if she can finish off this run.
Passing it into the middle. It takes a deflection and goes towards the right side of the net, as we are going to see the clock run down here. And Lynchburg wins it 5-0. First ODAC game against the Bridgewater Eagles. You love to see it. Start of ODAC play, winning 5-0, a shutout for the goalkeeper and the defense. It's fantastic to see the start of something that could be amazing for a new coach coming into conference play. And such, again, like we've said throughout the whole broadcast, such a powerhouse of a conference that Lynchburg is.
Really all-around great performance for the Lynchburg Hornets. They were excited to get back home. They proved that today with the 5-0 win. 4 different goal scorers. Congratulations to Grace Peterson. She was the one that doubled up and had multiple goals in this one. We're getting to see a replay of one of Grace Peterson's goals right there. Love the emotion, love that. Lynchburg was well-rounded. The defensive play was sharp. Still some things to work on. Lynchburg will have a couple days of practice, and then they'll be back on the turf at Schellenberger Saturday. I believe it is a noon start time Saturday, where Lynchburg will host Rowan. Rowan, a very good program. Losing record right now, but Rowan was a NCAA semifinalist back in 2022. So it's a team that will bring a lot of fight. They'll have high expectations and expect an exciting game here on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely, and do not go far away. After this field hockey win for Lynchburg, we have a women's soccer Code Red match against Washington and Lee. Code Red, you love everybody on the track supporting your team. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. It's very, very exciting for us in the broadcast booth, and I think everybody here, we've got a full staff, enjoyed watching Lynchburg win 5-0 there. Fantastic group of people here with us. Kyle, I enjoyed every single bit of this broadcast, and as I always do with you. And are there any takeaways that you want to bring up?
Oh, well, I mean, we could talk all night here. We could talk until soccer starts at least about this game. But, no, always an honor, pleasure, and a privilege to do these games on LHSN. Congrats to Jenny Relaford, my buddy there, with another great win. Lynchburg moves to 6-2. I mean, I think she'll tell you she's happy, but she knows that this team's not a finished product, and that's the way the great coaches think. It's early October. As I said, the first phase of your season is basically done. It's only a 17-game regular season in field hockey, so basically halfway now, and it is time to start thinking about ODAC play. Lynchburg took a great step in the right direction there, 1-0 in conference. That will make Coach Relaford and her squad feel pretty good.
Well, again, don't go too far away. We have a women's soccer matchup after this. Field hockey, however, is over. A 5-0 win, like you said, against Bridgewater College, extending their lead over the division to 6-3 or 6-2. Excuse me. We will be right back in a short amount of time for women's soccer against WNL here on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network.